This is the time in the service when I usually say to you that we will now pass the basket. But I can't do that right now, can I? Instead, I'm going to ask you to put your pledge check in the mail and send it to the church office. And if you don't know that address and can't look it up right now, we're at 10848 Chillicothe Road in Kirtland, Ohio, 44094. Now, as always, I am asking members and friends to give as generously as you can to support the work of this congregation in the world. And if you're joining us for the first time, don't worry about it. But if you've been coming back, I'd like you to consider supporting the work of this church in our community and across the internet by contributing financially at our website, www.eastshore.org.
Peace, salam, shalom. 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 We believe in peace. 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 Salam, shalom. We will work for peace. Salam, shalom. We will work for peace. Salam, shalom. We will work for peace.
Before we end, I'd like to share a few announcements with you. At this point, it probably goes without saying that events that require gathering here in our building have been canceled, like the Seder, the all-church cleanup, and sadly, the teen sleepover and art and spirituality gatherings. Kirtland Interfaith Adult Religious Education is postponed until further notice, since there seems to be pretty much universal agreement that the most valued part of that class has been the in-person gathering of 5 local congregations. I hope we'll be able to pick that up in the late spring or summer. Committee meetings will continue online for the Board of Trustees, the Nominating Committee, Finance, and other committees like that, with links sent out to the members from either myself or Halcyon Domansky, our Director of Religious Education, or Julia Katowski, the Chair of our Board of Trustees. Covenant groups, some of the youth religious education classes, and beverages and banter are continuing at regularly scheduled times via Zoom. Again, links to those meetings will be sent out via email, listserv, or Facebook message as they're set up. I also want to let you know that I'm going to be continuing while we're apart to do our prayer circle, our Wednesday morning prayer circle at 6:15 on Wednesday mornings. Now, if it starts looking like nobody is actually going to work or needs to be up that early, let me know, and we can do it at another time. We can make it later in the day, or we can set up alternative times. I'd like to thank everybody involved in making today's service happen. It's been a roller coaster of a week as we've seen different kinds of technology not quite live up to our expectations. They've just been so inundated. I'd really like to thank especially Laura Silverman for sending us videos of music, Jared Hammond for sharing reflection and music with his guitar, and Jesse Jones and Mary Stuart McGovern for their parts. All of them were kind enough to record themselves and send the videos to Halcyon Demansky, who has done so much more than her job description requires. Through all the challenges we faced over the last couple weeks, I've been amazingly grateful to have such a dedicated and skillful colleague. So finally, our benediction, our speaking of good words, are by the Reverend Kathleen McTeague. If it's wisdom we're after, we must remember that the truest wisdom comes laced through with compassion. As we come to know how alike we are, each of us doing our best to find the path ahead and to keep on walking with our fragile, broken hearts. And all of us in deep need of each other's kindness. So now I'd like to end, as we always do when we gather, with our bond of union. Now you'll notice that the words are slightly different at the beginning in acknowledgement of our physical separation from each other, but please feel free to join in when you can. Even though we are apart in body, in spirit, we join hands in Unitarian Universalist fellowship, pledging ourselves to an individual religious freedom which transcends all creeds, not to think alike, but to journey together. Amen.